So, all right, let's roll.
Welcome.
You're listening to the Saddle Up Podcast,
where we discuss everything related to UTRGV athletics, past or present. We'll catch up with old teammates, friends, and take you down memory lane
with exclusive interviews.
This is the Saddle Up Podcast,
The voice of your covered walkway streets.
So dope.
This is gonna be awesome.
Stay tuned for new episodes every week.
From Bronc Village to the Fieldhouse.
We'll cover it all.
Hell yeah, dude. Carpe diem.
So saddle up and let's go.
Let's go. Saddle up, partner.
Welcome back to another episode of Saddle Up Podcast. I'm your main man, Matt Bronc. What's going on?
Just bathing in the fun dip, man.
Gee, what's up with the fun dip goatee you got?
I'm so excited. I'm so excited that this guest that we have right now encouraged me when you were trying to discourage me. And that's maybe just her personality. That's who we have on the show. And we're going to find out more about how she brings that encouragement, man, for everyone. So I'm really excited to have the one and only
Lindsey Krouse. Well, Lindsey
Hi.
Krouse Garrett now, but everybody will know you as Lindsey Krouse, right?
Yeah,
So welcome to the show, Lindsey Krouse. How you doing?
I'm
Hey,
good. How are you guys?
Lindsey was talking like crazy off air, and then we hit record, and now she's just sitting there smiling. So,
That's all. Yeah, that's all the people need, man. Is
that's
Lindsey
all they
smiling.
need.
That's all
That's all they need. So, Lindsey, we kind of talked off air to kind of warm up and stuff, but we told you what the premise of the show was and how it started when you asked, right? And like we stated to you, you were one of the people that we've been trying to look for, to find, to interview, because you seem to like have dropped off the map. So we were like, how can we tell your story? Because you just recently got inducted into the Hall of Fame. So congratulations for that.
Congratulations.
Okay, thanks.
Congratulations.
So Lindsey, what have you been up to now? What are you doing? Where can people find you?
Okay, well, first of all, I'm not real big into social media. I have Facebook, so that's probably why you couldn't contact me, because I don't get on very often. But I'm in Houston. I'm still running. I have a running club. I love to do triathlons, and just like I've met a lot of people through the running club, which has been great, because I didn't find that until later, like probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago. But I'm working as a speech therapist. I do all home health, which I really love, because I'm able to see pediatric and adult patients.
Nice.
And I have 3 kids that keep me really busy.
And you've got a set of twins, right? Twin girls and an 11-year-old boy.
Girls, they're 17 and my son is 11. My girls are both just only doing track and cross country. Well, one does cross country and track, and one just does track. So
Are they getting recruited? What high school do they go to?
We're at Clear Falls High School, which is here in Lake City. It's a 6A school, so it's pretty competitive.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They're kind of talking about wanting to go to Stephen F. Austin. So we'll see.
FFA. Yeah.
It's it is a good school, and it has a track program. So
yeah,
I think they're kind of just open to whatever at this point.
Are they open to go into UTRGV?
So funny story.
Yeah.
We were gonna go down for the Hall of Fame thing, and we were supposed to take them down and do a tour, and then they had a track meet, so we weren't able to go. But they're interested because they want to go into nursing, and they have a really good nursing program down there.
They do.
So we are gonna go down and probably take a tour. I might have to get G to show me around. I haven't been to Edinburgh literally since, I'm trying to think. I graduated in 2000. Y'all, I don't even know if I've been back since then. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, I thought you were going to say you didn't even know if you graduated. I was like, oh, that might be a problem.
No, I don't think I ever, because then I went to grad school, and then I started working full time, and we had 2 babies. That was just like chaotic for a
life happened really fast.
Yeah, life got crazy real fast.
24 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
So
Now, where did
Lindsey,
you grow up?
yeah.
You didn't grow up in Houston, and you didn't grow up in the Valley. So
No.
tell everybody where you grew up
If I were to answer that question, I would say Corpus Christi, but my husband always corrects me that I actually grew up in Flower Bluff, which is like outside of Corpus.
Same difference. Same
Yeah.
difference.
Well, yes and no. You go to the grocery store without, shoes in Flower Bluff. You don't do that in Corpus. It's definitely a beach town.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
yes. Ironically, I now live in League City, which is in between Galveston and Houston. So I'm still not far from the beach, which is nice. Yeah.
That is good. Yeah.
G and I are
Lindsey,
actually watching speaking of Galveston, G
Oh,
and I
no.
are actually
Oh, no.
watching a documentary series on
Yeah.
Max because we
Yeah,
share
you got
like,
me on that.
hey dude, what are you watching? Whatever. And I'm like, dude, my wife has me on the Jinx, and it's the Robert Durst story about the guy in Galveston. He dressed up as a mute woman. He probably needed a speech therapist, but he really didn't. Anyway, so he ends up like chopping up his neighbor because the neighbor found out that he was a man and that he was wealthy. And he ends up, and it happened in Galveston. And so I told him, gee, let's watch the Jinx. And
Is this on Netflix?
no, it's on HBO.
Okay.
HBO Max.
It's
Okay.
2 seasons. It's the
Got it.
craziest story you will ever hear, right, G?
It is pretty crazy. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
But we
Okay.
don't want to take up the hour talking about the Jinx. That's for sure. Even though it's really good, Matt.
It's really good. And another little known fact that I told G, the Starbucks in season 2 that he would always go to was
you
the
ran into
Starbucks that was right down the street from my house when I was living in Houston. Like I could have run into that man, but
You probably did.
I probably didn't. So
And
Lindsey,
I'm sure he would recognize you at 7:10.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. He probably walked by and was like, "Hey, how's the weather up there, young man?"
Exactly.
We didn't have the number one rated podcast in Old Mito at the time, so I doubt that he would remember it.
In Flower Bluff and Flower Bluff.
G didn't have the fun dip. G didn't have the fun dip goatee, so he wouldn't have recognized G.
He is totally. You're doing a great job sporting the fun dip. You really are.
Thank you so much, Lindsey. That means a lot to me. Lindsey,
So
for those that didn't know you at UTPA and didn't know that you ran what running event? Cross country.
Actually, I got recruited for. It wasn't. I got recruited for the 800, and kind of like the 400 and the mile. But my real reason for going was for the 800 meter. So I kind of got thrown in. I mean, I ran cross country in high school, but I wasn't amazing. And then they threw us into cross country for training. And then it kind of went from okay, now I'm running cross country and indoor and outdoor track, and became a year-long, sport.
You did. Yeah, you did both of them, right?
Yeah. Yes.
I remember you sitting in the training room every day. It was
yeah. Well, I tore my meniscus. So we reported August 1st.
Yeah.
I tore my meniscus 3-4 weeks in, and I kept running because I was oh, I'm just being a big baby. We went from, running high school mileage to college mileage, which was crazy. And I couldn't get better. So then I had surgery in November of my freshman year. So it was a real big setback. Not how you wanted to start your, running career, but it was fine. I really believe everything happens for a reason. It made me realize there was I was there to run, but I just knew there was a bigger picture, right? In life, and it wasn't just about that. And the beautiful thing is with running is you can do it your whole life. I feel so thankful that was my sport, because I'm able to continue to do that, which is so fun.
It's the most affordable sport out there.
100%. Yes. I do go through shoes pretty fast even now. I'm oh my goodness, I've already put 400 miles on these shoes again. I just bought these.
wow.
So yeah.
400 miles. So how on average,
I'm just saying,
per day? You still run in this club, right? Well, how
yeah.
often?
So I do, like I said, I got into triathlon training back in what year? 2000 and probably 2012, somewhere.
There's that long-term memory. It's kicking in. There you go.
I know. I'm telling you, I have to think about it. It actually was not. So my son was born in 2012. So 2010, it was a couple years before he was born. I decided that my knees needed something other than running. So I started swimming and biking. And then that's when I started doing the triathlons, and I loved it. And then COVID hit, and I signed up for a few races and they got canceled, and I just kind of got in. I mean, I kept working out, but I wasn't like competing anymore.
Yeah.
And you know, I had got started with that running group, like I said, probably 2016, 2017. So I kept up with them, and it's just been a good motivator because we go to the track every Tuesday morning. We have a track workout, and then we have pretty much 3 or 4 other days a week you can meet up with a group and run, so you're not by yourself, which you really, you know, I do run by myself, but it's not my favorite anymore.
Yeah. I
So
totally get it.
yeah.
And where do you usually run? Is it like you run down 45, or is it
No,
like
no.
parks,
So
or
we live in League City. So I have little loops. We have retention ponds I'll run around. You know, there's a lot of all of our streets over here have sidewalks, which is really nice. So I thought that was the norm, but you know, I went to Dallas and I was like, oh, there's a lot of neighborhoods without sidewalks. I didn't realize how fortunate we were. I mean, there are a lot of neighborhoods with sidewalks in Dallas too, but I'm just saying they're not as common in some of
moral
the
of the
big.
story is find a neighborhood with sidewalks.
Yes,
You're a
with
runner. There you go.
sidewalks and no, you know, no scary dogs and no creepy white vans. That's the goal.
Yeah, no kidding.
Stay away from the
No
creepy
kidding.
white vans with no windows, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh man.
yeah.
Well,
So
if you
I feel like
do-
I'm at an age now I don't have to worry about that anymore. I'm like, okay, the creepy white vans don't want me anymore, so I'm good. Like I just have to warn my daughters.
Well, the good thing is you can always run away.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Boom.
Yeah.
Because she's
That's-
running. Like,
Pretty good. Pretty good. You put that drum.
Unintended, yes.
oh. So
Yeah.
you haven't
Go
been
ahead,
back since what 2000 back to Edinburgh, right? What are kind of like, and you just got inducted in the Hall of Fame. You couldn't make it, but I guess what I want to know is, tell us one of your fondest memories, whether it be at the university, you know, competing, or just at school. Like, what was something that you always cherish from your time there in Edinburgh at Pan Am?
So well, I met really great people like y'all. I felt really fortunate that I immediately connected with people, athletes and athletes. I did meet a girl in my program, my communication disorders program. Her name was Marvi, and she honestly, like when I think of the Valley and I think of like the culture and just the loving, kind people there, I think of her because like she welcomed me into her family's home. I would go there to eat like dinner, and her parents were they treated me like a daughter, you know, and even though I was only 2.5 hours away, I didn't go home very much because of, you know, our schedules and just trying to be competitive within my own academic program. So I feel like when I moved here, especially Houston, because I went to grad school at U of H, it really made me appreciate like how just genuine and kind the people were down there, and just how welcomed I felt. As scared as I was, I mean, I was so anxious to leave and go down there, even though it wasn't that far from home. I just felt like it was like a whole nother world before I actually made the move. And then once I was there, I was like, okay, this is good. Like God had a plan. I feel, you know, like I was supposed to be here, but yeah, there was some bumps in the road for sure.
I'd like to point something out, G. She said when she met us at Pan Am, right?
She said y'all. Yeah.
Y'all. I would like to point out to you, Lindsey, and I know you've got a problem with short-term and long-term, right? But
long-term memory. My short-term memory is great.
Yeah. So long-term memory, you and I met before. You were playing basketball for your team, and y'all played in a high school tournament in Bastrop, Texas.
I remember that now. Yes.
And we were playing, we had a day game.
Yes.
And we were warming up, and I remember you guys walking in, and literally this is how you and I met. I went up for a dunk, and you were on the baseline, and I almost ran you over. And then didn't think anything of it from that point on, whatever, like almost, you know, ran over
a 4'10". I was 4'10".
4'10" blonde, right, with curly hair, right? And so didn't think anything of it. I ended up coming to Pan Am. And I remember we were in line. That was when they did the class registration at the field house. And they let the athletes in to do the classes first. And you were right behind me in line. And you were like, you look so familiar. And I was like, and then you were like, did you go to Bastrop? And I said, yes. And you were like, you almost ran over me on the baseline. And that's
I
how
had
we
good
met.
memory back then. Look at that.
Yep. So we met in Bastrop.
Oh,
You know
gosh.
what? That's so crazy, Matt. Lindsey, you made such an impression on Matt that he remembers every detail of the first time.
I almost
He
ran
met
her
you.
over. I'm sorry.
You know
And you
what?
have
No,
yeah.
I think it was the fact that I was like 4'10" playing basketball, and I had my hair, I had like 5 times the amount of hair I had now. I had like a beehive, like the biggest hair ever.
You did.
So I think that's probably what you remembered most, is like there's not many people that had,
Yeah, I almost ran over Mufasa.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Exactly. I think my hair weighed more than I did when I graduated high
But
school.
I just wanted to point that out because my mom listens to the show and she's gonna get a big kick out of that story.
That's
so I
funny.
wanted to say that. So
Definitely.
I remember that tournament too in Bastrop.
Yeah.
With my team. That's funny.
Yeah.
And actually, that's a fun fact about me. I really wanted to play basketball in college, and I had really great coaches in high school, but my coach very gently told me that was probably not going to happen for me, that running was probably more in my future than basketball. So I still play basketball. I still play basketball with my son. I actually was supposed to help coach his team, and then my husband kind of took over because he probably was better at it than I would have been, because I don't like to talk in front of people. So hence, that's why I didn't want to show today.
Coach Lindsey huddles up everybody, all the kids, and then doesn't say anything, just stares at them.
What are we going to do, Coach?
I'm actually better with kids. I'm actually better with kids than adults. It's not quite as good.
I'm sure you are. I'm sure you're great.
It's not as intimidating, and she's really good with us because we're extremely like non-intimidating. Like
we're like kids.
We couldn't.
No, I was so nervous. I told you.
Yeah.
Ask Matt. He had to ask me a lot of times to do this. I was not excited about it.
We've been trying for like a year to get you on. Like I've been seriously like, there's
Lindsey
you're on that list. You're on that list, and there's like 3 or 4 other people that we've been trying to find. Brian Merriweather is on that list. Like we're trying to find several people to just kind of help culminate telling the story of, and then it was so funny because we connected right before the Hall of Fame ceremony. And I asked you if you were coming because
I didn't even know about it, Matt, until you said congrats on the Hall of Fame. I'm like, oh,
are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, Jonah needs to do a better job of notifying athletes.
No, it wasn't that. It's just, I think they didn't have my email, then they had it. And you know how you get emails and you just kind of like delete.
Yeah. Brush them off. Yeah.
And then when Matt said that to me, I was like, oh, I got a couple emails from UTRGV. I mean, this new name is still kind of throwing me off. I was like, I guess I should open them up. And then my husband's like, we're for sure going. Like, you need to go down there. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like, there's a lot going on. And then I was excited about going. And then I started getting worried about my lack of long-term memory, that I couldn't remember all the things. I don't know. I mean, like I said, my short-term memory, I'm still doing really good. But long-term, there's just a lot that's like, oh, yeah, that did happen. Like the Bastrop thing. Now that you said it, I 100% remember the whole thing. But
so, I told you this when I reached out to Lindsey and how she just deflated my ego, right? I reached out to her on Facebook. And
you didn't know your last name.
And I'm like, hey, Lindsey, it's so great to find you. Like, it's Matt.
Yeah.
And, from Pan Am. And she was like, do I know you? And I was like,
yeah.
Whoa.
And it was so funny, Lindsey, because at first he was like, okay, she read it. Just no response yet. But she read it. I'm like, well, dude, look, just do it once, man. You don't want to seem like a creeper,
You don't want to
Facebook.
sound like a creeper guy in a white van with no windows, right?
Oh my gosh.
Just message her once, man. That's it.
But
Let her do a research.
But Gonzalo, to be fair, he doesn't look the picture on his messenger. I'm like, this is not Matt from basketball. He didn't even look the same to me. So I was like,
In a good way or a bad way? I'm just
no, in a good way. You just look
okay.
so grown up and mature. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, it
Thank
wasn't,
you.
I was just like, you were like a kid back then. Like we were kids. I mean, I look at pictures and I'm thinking, how did they even let me into college? Like I looked like a baby, you know?
Matt
So
was
yes, he
like
had
I
a
was
such
so
a
baby
skinny.
tall
face.
I was
baby.
I
Yes,
was
he
such a
was just,
baby.
yeah. I mean, if
Yeah.
you just looked at the face in college, not the like, height,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
I get
But
it. And I kid you. I know you
no.
I didn't put my last name. I just I'm just ribbing you, but yeah, that was the ego deflator right there. Like I felt like Tom Brady in the
It was.
I was like,
You brought him.
Oh,
You
I
brought him
feel
back down to earth,
that.
Lindsey. Thank you for bringing him back down to earth. He
yeah.
was riding high with this saddle up thing,
Oh.
and you brought him right where he needed to be to
Yeah,
stay
we got the
humble.
number
Thank you
one
so much.
podcast in Hidalgo,
And
based
it all go, yeah.
voted by
Yeah.
Number
alumni.
one, that's impressive.
No, we're
No.
just kidding.
Hopefully your ratings don't go down after this.
Well,
Hopefully
Lindsay,
they don't, Lindsey.
when we started, we had like 3 subscribers, and it was
Wow.
like I don't think G
For a
doesn't
while.
even
For a
subscribe
while.
to the podcast. We just found that out the other day, but it
Oh,
was my mom and my mom, his mom, and myself. Those were the 3 subscribers.
oh,
So
at least
yeah,
your mom supported you. That's very nice.
Both our moms.
shout out to
They're
mom.
really
Yeah,
nice.
That's unconditional love right there. That's
yeah.
sweet.
So, what is like, what's I mean, you're living in Houston now, you're working, you got 2 daughters about to go to UTRGV and run track. We can help you with that. You got your 11-year-old that doesn't believe that I'm 6'10" because you were showing him pictures. We gotta settle that debate. We got G with the Fun Dip goatee, and that's what I'm gonna change your name in my phone, Fun Dip G. And so
I appreciate that. Yeah.
what is like what's next for Lindsey? What do you envision? I mean,
I think,
doctorate, what do you
what'd you say?
Ooh,
I said
doctorate.
like getting a doctorate? What's the next
No,
thing for you?
I'm really just taking in the moment right now. I think I'm like I'm a little sad like thinking about the future because my whole like world has revolved around, a family of 5, right? And I'm so happy my daughters are like amazing and so mature and so ready to go off to college in a year. But I've honestly, as you're asking me this question, like every time I'm out running or, even out walking or just driving around from patient to patient, I'm like, I'm gonna have to, like, even though my son is still really busy and he'll be in 7th grade, like he's in 5th grade right now, but he'll be in 7th grade when they leave for college. It's going to be a very different pace. So I'll have to start, I don't know, maybe I'll start competing more, doing more triathlons. Maybe I'll meet with the running group in the evenings. Right now I run super early. I get up every day, like 4:15, 4:20 in the morning, because our running group starts at, we're on the track by 4:45, 4:50, because most of us work. If we're not on the track, I mean, meeting with the running group just to run, around League City, obviously. But so I don't know. I mean, I'll keep doing what I'm doing. I don't know. I would like to go back to outpatient therapy because I do really miss that, but I didn't like the hours once I had 3 kids. So
Yeah.
we'll see. It's just kind of keeping an open mind.
Well, whatever you're doing, you're killing it. So I want to give
Yeah.
you your flowers now. Like
Yeah.
you are killing it, and you're a great
thanks.
mom, and
Yeah.
great
Lindsey,
wife. And, yeah.
Lindsey, let me challenge you a little bit. Your coaching,
Okay.
okay? Let me challenge your coaching. I think this will be fun. I'll give you the little backstory. Okay, so I decided to start running a little bit. I was like, man, I got to start running more. And I texted Matt. I said, Matt, let's do a 30-day challenge. Let's run a mile every day, or let's just complete 30 miles in a month. So that'll equivalent of 1 mile per day. If you fall behind, you can just do the 2 miles, or 3, whatever. Well, we did it for about a week or 2 weeks. I stuck with it, but Mr. Matt over here thought he could skip 3 or 4 days and then just go, hey, gee, I'm good. I'll just do 4 miles. I'll just do 4 miles tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I appreciate
Lindsey.
you calling me out. Thank you.
Lindsey,
Well-
very much so. You're beet red. You're tomato red because I'm calling you out here. I'm challenging you, Matt.
Okay.
Lindsey, here's your opportunity to
coach
coach
me up.
Matt, to coach him up, and tell him why that challenge is a good idea, why he should stick with it, and why he should start it and stick with it. All that good stuff. He's in front of you right now. What do you say, Coach?
Okay, well, first of all, I'm on Team Gonzalo. I think that doing 4 miles in one day when you
That's all the time we have, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming to the show. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead, Lindsey. Go ahead.
Like, I see that happen sometimes. People will show up to the track and they're like, all right, what are we doing today? 12 400s, let's go. And I'm like, have you been running? Like, of course, you do you. Like, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but it's just a quick way to get shin splints. It's a quick way to pull a muscle, to feel defeated and not want to go back. I feel like Gonzalo set a very realistic goal for you. And it's something that's very achievable, and you're going to feel really good at the end of the 30 days. And you're going to say, well, you know what, let's keep it up. And you'll hold each other accountable, and it'll be really good.
Okay. You know what?
And I'll join your challenge, and I'll help you.
Okay. We'll start a group message. We'll start a group thread, right?
Okay.
And
I'll hold you accountable.
Yeah, we'll get your number after this because we have group messages with all our guests. So we always have conversations, but
Like it. Okay.
we'll get your number off camera, and then we'll hold each other accountable. And I will do the 30 miles in 30 days.
Okay.
All it takes. Lindsey, that's great coaching. That's all it takes. He's not going to listen to me. Lindsey, this is a blessing in disguise right here.
I think too, 2 should be probably the max, right? Maybe this is what I always tell people, start off with a mile, do a mile for a few days, then maybe try a 1.5 miles, 2 miles. If it's too much of a struggle, then run a mile and then maybe walk a minute or 2 and then run another mile. But you have to do a gradual build. Unless you're my husband. My husband will not run for a whole year, and then he'll go out and run 5 miles with me. And I'm like, I don't understand. He has it's mind boggling. He's the only person I know that can do that. So I would not be able to do that. If I don't run for a couple weeks, I mean, it's been a long time since I've gone a couple weeks without running, but I would really be hurting. I could not do it.
I will do it because I felt so bad about running you over on the baseline when we were
Okay, so then we'll be fair.
I will hold
we'll
you.
I
will hold myself accountable, and we will start a running group, and you'll beat us because obviously I'm not waking up at 4 o'clock.
It's not a competition.
Yeah.
It's not a competition. No, you're competing against yourself. That's what I always tell people. You're not, it's not a competition. And you know what? That's what I think is so awesome about anything. It could be water polo. It could be just going out in your, neighborhood pool and just trying to swim a couple laps. Just doing something every day. I tell that to my patients, my little elderly patients. If you don't use it, you lose it. You have to, that sticks with cognition, that goes with the physical abilities, right? So
yeah,
absolutely.
We need to implement our own life lessons.
Coach Lindsey Krouse Guerra is on the mic.
We brought it out.
How many people are you going to motivate? Yes, not just me, not just G, but how many of my mom might start running now after that speech?
I didn't say it has to be running. It does not have to be running. I think just something. It could be 10 push-ups a day or 5 push-ups.
Yeah,
right?
we will do it.
We did a challenge where we were doing push-ups during COVID, and it's okay, let's see if you can get to 60 a day. So you can get to 80 a day. I was like, you know what? It's really not that hard if you do it every day. You build those muscles and muscle memory.
There we go. Well, we're running short on time. We told you it was gonna fly by, right? You were so nervous. You're like, We're at the end of the show, right? And now it leads us right into the questions for G, sponsored by Wing Barn, who is one of our title sponsors. And when you come down to the Valley to take the girls on their official visit to UTRGV, G will hook you up with some Wing Barn gift certificates so you can eat some Wing Barn and feel
absolutely. Take the family over, enjoy some really good food.
Yep.
Ready, Lindsey, Lindsey, this is perfect. This is awesome. Thank you so much for motivating the world, because this is going to go viral. All right. We're going to clip that right there, Matt. You got to clip that. You got to clip that motivational speech, that coaching, that halftime speech to Matt Palmquist that ended up being the motivator for the world.
We're gonna put it on Instagram and Facebook. Yep, that's it.
I got it. Yeah, you're trying to hide, but now you're just gonna blow up in society and the community.
Oh,
No,
you
we're not.
guys, you're so funny.
We're gonna be doing
Okay,
appearances on Dr. Phil and shit.
That's right. We're going there. Wait, just take us with you, Lindsay. Just don't forget about the little people.
Okay, I will.
All right, we got this or that. Okay, real simple questions. Just this or that. I'll give you two options. You just pick one. Okay, the one that you feel is the right answer for you. Matt might have an extra bonus question because earlier he talked about, man, you're gonna ask this, but I really didn't hear what he said. So he might have a bonus question. All right, so this is a speed round right here, Lindsay. Speedy, just like you. Okay. Chili's or Applebee's?
Chili's.
I
worked there. I had to say that.
Wonder Woman or Superwoman?
Superwoman.
Okay. Long distance or sprint?
Long distance.
Mustard or ketchup?
Oh, ketchup.
Sonic or Whataburger?
Whataburger for sure.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a fan favorite. Hot or cold?
Hot.
Okay. Beach or mountain?
Oh, that's a really hard one. I'm gonna say mountains, Colorado.
All right. Peanut butter or jelly?
Peanut butter.
Boat or plane?
Boat.
Scary or drama?
Scary.
Wow.
No, I'm gonna say drama. I have to change my mind. I'm very.
You watch Vanderpump Rules. Do you watch
Vanderpump Rules?
You watch Vanderpump, don't you, Lindsay? Do you watch Vanderpump?
Yeah. Little drama right there.
Yeah, little Real Housewives of Orange County. Yeah, so there you go.
All right, Lindsay, I'm gonna back-to-back piggyback this next question. Rap or country?
Country.
All right, so we've got a playlist. We have a on Spotify, and it's a Saddle Up playlist. So give us your favorite song that we need to add on there. Maybe let's do this. Your favorite song before you ran back in the day. To get ready for your meets, your cross country, your 800, your track, whatever. All
Getting
that
ready
stuff.
to get in the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Yeah. So right there, right around that era, and then give us the song that we need to add to that playlist now. The way that you get ready for your triathlon.
Yep. At 4 o'clock in the morning, how you get ready?
4 a.m. What song are you listening to?
I'm trying to think before, like.
You know she's got a problem with long-term memory, G.
I know.
The short term.
I just would say like, I'm trying to think of one from a long time ago. I didn't like listen to country that much like years ago. I really didn't listen to music a whole lot. So you knew my background growing up.
Not really, not a lot.
No,
okay.
It was like a lot.
How about now?
I can imagine you listen to Tupac. I kind of vaguely remember you listen to Tupac.
Tupac or
Visions
Biggie.
of a Rider, like
Oh my gosh. I like any Luke Combs song.
Oh
any
yeah.
Zach Bryan song. My daughters want to go to like every country music concert. Morgan Wallen. We saw Morgan Wallen not too long ago. So we have
Randy Rogers. Love Randy
Yes,
Rogers.
Kenny Rogers. I'm still a big George Strait, Garth Brooks fan. Like if I was gonna say, go with the classic. Yeah. So
let's go with George Strait, The Chair. Okay, that's a classic. That's a good one, kind of for a long distance run, right?
Okay.
And then let's go with Luke Combs, Houston, We Got a Problem.
I like it.
Okay, well, we're going to add those two songs.
We don't have a problem here in Houston with Lindsay.
Yep.
We don't have a problem.
No, we're going to add those. We're going to add those two songs.
Thanks for the help. That was great because you put me in the spot and I'm like, I don't know.
100%.
We're going to add those two songs on your behalf, Lindsay, to the Saddle Up Spotify playlist. And it's like G said, it's a culmination of all our guests contributed to. So that way you can listen to the playlist and maybe it jogs that long-term memory. And you're like, oh my gosh, I remember this song when I was in Club X. Like,
Matt, I have come to a conclusion. When you knocked me over in Bastrop, that's what happened.
Oh, that's me. Oh, okay. So Lindsay got CTE because I ran over him when we were 18 years old.
I got a concussion and then it messed up my long-term memory for life.
You'll be hearing from her lawyer, Matt.
No, I won't do that. I
There has
promise.
to be a statute of limitations. Like that was 20.
How many years ago?
Oh my gosh, it was
1996.
28 years ago.
Yeah, that was a
Wow.
long time ago.
28 years ago. Yeah, I'm sorry. You're not
That's a
getting a
long-
dime from me, Lindsay. Like,
That's a long time,
you
man.
already passed medical school. Like you can't you can't put that on me. Like that's
Oh,
that's
so
not on
funny.
me.
That's right. You've been doing
I
really
got one
well.
question though. Chili's or HEB?
Oh, HEB, hands down.
Hands down, baby.
And
HEB
why did
for
I
the
ask
people.
that question, Lindsay?
Because the summer between my sophomore and junior year, I worked at HEB from like 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then I worked at Chili's from 4 to close pretty much every day to save money to buy a car because I wanted to live off campus and I needed a car. And my parents were like, all right, well, go make some money. So I
What kind of car did you buy?
I bought a Buick Century. You remember my car. It was a white Buick Century. It was an old lady car. My dad found this car that it was like the best thing ever. And it was not the best thing ever, but I was
still have the car. Do you still roll
No.
it?
I do not have the car.
In the garage.
do
It's in
not.
the garage.
It's in the garage with a tarp over it.
I gave it to my daughters. I gave it to
You
my
and
daughters.
Adrian just take a cruise, no AC, just roll down the windows in Houston
Yes.
and drive
Yes.
around League City. That's it. Reminiscing.
Wow.
Now you can listen to the Spotify playlist that we did for satellite.
I love it. I can't wait.
There you go.
In your book, in your Buick Century.
Yeah,
With my boombox. I'll put my boombox in there.
Wow.
Like 1996.
Wow.
Oh my
That
gosh.
is
Well,
awesome.
Lindsey Krouse Guerra, but Lindsay, it's been such a great episode, and we're so thankful that one, we reconnected with you, and two, you finally said yes to the show, because I know so many people are wondering what you've been up to, and I'm so glad that you took part. And I told you it would go by fast, and I told you you would have a lot of fun, and I'm so
It was
glad
fun.
that you did.
Thanks, guys.
And you're welcome back anytime you want to come back.
Anytime, Lindsay. Thank you so
All right.
much.
Y'all take care of yourselves.
All right, till next week, guys.
You too.
Bees up.
Bees up.
Bye.
Like we weren't supposed to come up with something this clean, like something happened.